So this is what we do with the chickens in the morning. First, the puppies are involved in the chicken coop. They're being trained not to kill the chickens, so they're welcome in here. And we need to feed them. Sometimes we feed them in here right now, which is a very inconvenient system that's fairly prone to being dirty and dumb. ¿Por qué no vamos a poner los platos adentro? Si hay extra van a comerlo, pero si no hay extra no van a comerlo. No sé. Y no, tampoco no sé cuánto cuesta la comida de gallinas o perros. O si los gallinas van a gustar o no. ¿Puedo tener un poco? Quiero ver si las gallinas gustan o no. Well, it's hard to test if the chickens like dog food, if the dogs immediately go for the dog food. I guess we should do that when they're not in here. Gotta check and see if there's water for the chickens. And I walk over here and I check this red thing. It has 0 water. Incorrect amount of water. That should never, ever occur. There's another one up here. 0 water. That should never occur. My watering system is terrible. I have to carry water by 5-gallon buckets right now. This capture system has some kind of failure in it. I just didn't have time to finish it. And now the rains are gone. I should still fix it. They get some compost from the kitchen. And we want to keep these doors always closed. There's 2 doors because if one door gets left open and the other door gets opened for a moment to pass through, then a dog could run in and kill all the chickens. It's a security problem. I need to put a lock on that door. Hopefully by the time you get here, if you ever come here, there's a lock on that door. Because my first chickens I lost because somebody let a dog in. And that's why I've got dogs in here being trained not to do that. ¿Y los huevos? Ah, sí. So we're going to go fill up some water here. There's a clip. See, I'm locked out. I'm locked in now. This whole door system is completely designed in a stupid-ass way so that no one can ever pass. Okay, I've got my egg basket here. She's going to fill up some buckets down there with water and carry them over to the red things and fill them up. What I do in here is I go look for eggs. It's sort of fun. It's like Easter egg hunting, except they're not Easter eggs. Hi, honey. This is a hen sitting there. Don't bother hens that are sitting there. They don't appreciate it. It's their private time. And you should leave them the hell alone. I like to collect eggs in a tray that is a paper tray. Perhaps 2 of them to be extra strong. And that way they don't move around a lot. They don't knock into each other. When you collect them in a little basket like this, you have to put them all on top of each other. And it's just not as secure. Not a fan. So here I check the egg spots in this little building here. But there's another place they nest over there. Now you notice there's doors on these spots. That's because ravens, big, huge, magic, wonderful ravens, who I like a lot, do come in and steal the eggs. A lot. Well, they used to. Now that there's a wire door there, they could still get in if they really wanted to, but they generally don't like to. One time a person was in here in an outer area that's very closed in. There's just tons of eggs in here. They really like this spot. The reason there's so many little spots for the eggs, by the way, is so that they can choose where they want to be. All of those spots must, at all times, be completely full of maybe a little sawdust but a bunch of pine needles. Not just put a little bit of pine needles, but put a lot. So it's 1 bucket of water. 1 bucket of water for every red thing. And the spots where the red things are should be made cleaner and in general be a lot better. That's some thirsty, thirsty chickens. The water filling hose is a siphon from a very large tank. Yep, uno más. El otro es completamente seco también. Y debemos poner el tercero, en realidad. I'm going to grab another waterer and put 3 in there instead of 2. This water seems to run out pretty quickly. My new water system will use less water. So here I've got this other one of these red things. This gets used in here for babies and stuff like that, but I don't have those right now. Vamos a limpiarlo otro día. No tengo mucho interés. Once we have the eggs, we take the eggs to the lodge, put them in a cabinet, and mark down how many there were. Now really, we need to also mark down how many got destroyed. Several times a hen has started to sit on eggs to hatch them. We should get her off of there and steal the eggs. Maybe even block the spot, I don't know. I don't think it's actually efficient to have hens reproduce themselves. It's cute. And maybe there's tons of exceptions to that, but it's, a lot of them die. Maybe if we had some kind of perfect hen setup, that would be okay. I don't got that. But I'd rather do incubators and a solar brooder. That's the key component, is right now nobody has a good low energy solution for producing lots of chicks. For producing lots of pullets out of chicks. That baby to adolescent stage is very labor intensive and energy intensive. So I want to set up a way to do that. We'll end up with happy, healthy hens, because hens would actually be a far better product than eggs. I can't outcompete the industrial egg market, but nobody's producing laying hens, and that meets my goals as well. I want houses to have hens that eat their garbage and that give them eggs. No more organic waste problem. Problem solved. No roosters, because they're noisy. And people don't like them. So it's almost like the rules against chickens in the city should be more, don't have roosters. Because the hens are really much less problem. And of course, it all depends on where you live. Look at those happy dogs eating away in there with the chickens. So we'll have a third one of these here in a second. With this hose, like she's about to start losing water here. Not quite. That needs to be hooked higher than the level of the tank. If it gets left below the level of the tank in any way, water will be lost. And if somebody just tosses that hose on the ground, all of the water will be lost. The water that's supposed to last for these chickens for 8 months or so. So that's a case where it should be very understandable that, casi no es suficiente alto. ¿Sabes qué? Debo pintar este, a decir dónde. El más alto que puede ser es mucho mejor. No era muy malo, pero quién sabe. We also do have in the chicken coop bones for the dogs to chew on. Those are bones from the butcher. Oh, sí.
No puedo.
Generally, you don't want to fill the buckets up quite so full. There's no sense in making them heavier. If you had a couple people doing this, it'd go real quick. Somebody on the hose, and maybe even more than one bucket, I don't know. Wouldn't hurt to have another 5-gallon bucket out here. 5-gallon buckets are actually an amazingly great tool. Yes, I'm aware they're made of plastic, and plastic is bad, but it's high-use plastic at a low cost for immense benefit. So we're going to use some plastic 5-gallon buckets for some things right now. Even as for trees and stuff, they're a lot cheaper than any other kind of thing we could use to pot them. And we have to make trees very mature sometimes before we're going to plant them out in the field, because we got to baby them so they live. Hi, Boogie. Hello, Alicia. ¿Vas a llenar este también? Sometimes I feel lazy and I just feel like putting enough water in there, like the minimum. No. All 3 of those should be full all the time. The other one we put in there should be in the shade, because there'll be less evaporation, and all of them need to be in better spots, really. So I have some concrete blocks. We can make a few more platforms in here, and that might be really helpful.